Willem de Kooning was a storm on a canvas. A restless immigrant from Rotterdam who arrived in America with no money. He went on to become one of the defining forces of abstract expressionism. Every brushstroke feels like a battle. Every painting feels alive. De Kooning believed in the chaos of creation. He believed that art must capture the friction between beauty and brutality, pleasure and fear, attraction and destruction. His exhibitions trace that struggle. They show how a house painter working illegally in the United States transformed into a giant of 20th century art. They reveal a career that refused to stand still and an artist who never stopped reinventing himself. Today, his paintings sell for over $300 million, yet he once wondered if he would ever have a real exhibition. This is the story of Willem de Kooning's most important art exhibits and how they turned raw emotion into cultural legacy. Early years, artist-run galleries in New York, 1930s, 1940s. The fight to be seen. De Kooning didn't walk into fame. He had to claw his way toward it. In the early 1930s and 40s, he displayed his art in tiny, artist-run galleries formed by a group that would later become known as the New York School. These small exhibitions weren't glamorous. They were experiments, salons, critiques, and late-night debates. This is when de Kooning started tearing apart the rules of painting. He mixed influences from European modernism with his own bold instincts. He painted figures that seemed to fight their way out of the canvas. Critics didn't care yet, but other artists did. Among insiders, whispers started. There was something dangerous happening in those rooms. Something new. First solo exhibition, Egan Gallery, New York, 1948. The breakthrough. In 1948, de Kooning finally got his moment. His first solo exhibition at the Egan Gallery featured a series of striking black and white abstractions. No color, just force. The reaction was electric. New York critics and curators suddenly paid attention. They saw command, conviction, and a unique voice. These paintings weren't polite. They pulsed. They felt like city streets, loud, tense, alive. With just one show, de Kooning jumped to the front line of abstract expressionism. He was no longer chasing the movement. He was shaping it. The Women Exhibitions, 1953 and beyond. The scandal that changed art. Then came the turning point. In the early 1950s, de Kooning shocked the art world by returning to the female figure in a violent, radical style. His women paintings, especially Woman Eye, were unsettling. Enormous eyes, tooth-bearing grins, thick, slashing paint. When these works were first exhibited in 1953, some critics called them misogynistic. Others saw them as modern goddesses. Everyone was talking about de Kooning. People weren't used to seeing femininity expressed with such power and anxiety. The Women series was a punch to the establishment. It proved painting could still shock in the age of modernism. This exhibition solidified his artistic identity. Fearless, confrontational, impossible to ignore. Abstraction reawakened. 1960s exhibitions across America. A new kind of landscape. Just when everyone thought they understood him, de Kooning changed again. He left New York for Long Island and painted abstract landscapes inspired by nature and light. These works flowed like water and surf. Colors surged across the canvas in ribbons of motion. Exhibitions of this era showed a softer yet still urgent energy, an artist absorbing the world around him. Emotional freedom without losing edge. Collectors and museums embraced this new direction. His influence was now global, not just centered in New York. De Kooning didn't just evolve. He reinvented himself entirely. 1978 Guggenheim Retrospective, New York. The Crown Master. By the late 1970s, de Kooning was considered a living legend. The Solomon R. Guggenheim Museum honored him with a massive retrospective celebrating his explosive career. The exhibition featured early figurative works, iconic women paintings, sweeping abstractions, sculptures and drawings rarely shown before. Critics praised his ability to continuously expand the limits of painting. The Guggenheim show confirmed that de Kooning was not only a central founder of abstract expressionism, he was its fiercest innovator. This was the moment the art world officially crowned him. MoMA Retrospective, New York, 1997. Legacy in full. After Alzheimer's disease began affecting his life, de Kooning's late paintings became surprisingly calm, still expressive but more airy and lyrical. Following his death in 1997, the Museum of Modern Art mounted a retrospective that allowed audiences to reflect on his entire journey. Visitors experienced the full emotional range: rage and tenderness, precision and chaos, pain and playfulness, fire and water. The exhibition helped deepen appreciation for his late works, proving that creativity doesn't always fade. Sometimes it transforms. MoMA's tribute confirmed his place among the greatest artists of all time. 2011 to 2012 LACMA and MoMA Joint Retrospective. The definitive de Kooning event. The most ambitious de Kooning exhibition ever mounted came in the 21st century. The Los Angeles County Museum of Art and MoMA partnered to create a sweeping, career-defining retrospective. Over 200 works showed his evolution across 7 decades. Critics called it the exhibition that finally revealed the full spectrum of de Kooning: genius of the brush, innovator of the figure, poet of movement, master of constant change. You didn't just look at the art. You felt like you were moving through the turbulence of his mind. This exhibition didn't just honor history. It reignited admiration for a man who made paint feel alive. Why these exhibitions matter. Each exhibition marks a turning point in de Kooning's artistic life. The underground shows proved he was part of a revolution in New York. The first solo exhibition launched his public career. The Women's series made him famous and infamous at once. The landscape abstractions showed his courage to evolve. Guggenheim and MoMA retrospectives crowned his impact. The monumental LACMA, MoMA show secured his global legacy. De Kooning believed the world isn't clean or simple. It is messy, confusing, emotional. His exhibitions reflect that. They remind us that art is not about perfection. It is about energy, honesty, and the risk of creation. He once said, "Art never stops. It goes from one thing to another." That sentence captures everything. De Kooning never let himself stop. If you could attend just one of these exhibitions, which would it be? The shocking debut of the Women's series? The powerful Guggenheim retrospective? The emotional MoMA tribute? Or the massive 2011 global celebration? Tell me in the comments which era of de Kooning's genius you would want to witness. Then subscribe for more epic deep dives into the world's most influential art exhibitions.